At least the elementary education teacher likes it.
All right. Well, good morning. Have a well, Deb's here. All right. Good stuff. All right. Before I turn this over to Ryan, I wanted to talk about Clubhouse. So a couple of you asked about Clubhouse and how you could really market yourself, right? So a few different tips that I want to give you, right? So Clubhouse, and this was Sharon's question, so I'll wait for her to join. Hey, good morning, Sharon. Wow. Admit. So many people come in. All right, there we go. Lots of people here. Hello, good morning, everyone.
Alexa,
Yep.
Alexa, I wanted to make sure you are recording this for Margareta.
Yep.
I wanted to make sure you are recording this for Margareta.
I am.
She said she will not be here.
Yep, I'm recording it, but Margie's here. Hey, Margie.
Yeah, I have to hop off in a few minutes to get to the dentist, so I'll miss most of it.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm recording it for you, and I'll plop it up on the course. So, talking about Clubhouse, I think this was Sharon's question or somebody's question. So here's my advice of what's working for me, right? So one, connections is everything. So when I can, I'm pulling you guys up onto stage where there's some really good exposure for you. So like yesterday, I pulled Margie up in a conversation, and the people I'm pulling you up have a lot of clout, right? So anybody with like 2,000 plus followers have a lot of clout, meaning once you build a relationship with them, I would start DMing them, be friends with them. They'll start pulling you up on stage with you whenever you go follow them, right? So these relationships are incredibly important. And it's what is going to take you from, not getting anywhere to getting anywhere in Clubhouse. That's the first rule, right? The second rule is we need to make sure that your bios are flushed out. The key important thing is, who are you helping? How are you helping them? Why are you, what about you makes you, justified to help people with this? And then the call to action. What has worked for me is in my bio, I have want free advice, DM me. And I'm literally getting probably 200 DMs, Sky can tell you because he manages them, a day. It's insane how many people are flooding through my DMs. My followers have literally doubled in, what's it been, 2 weeks, right? I just hit 2,000. I'm almost at 4. So huge opportunity. And the key here is I'm not a big believer in get followers and you're going to make money. These are the right followers because I'm sitting in rooms that matter and I'm sharing advice on how I can actually help people. So the people that are following me are people that are going to be interested in me. So like Tara and I had this conversation yesterday. This is a perfect platform for somebody like her to start sharing her story and start conversations. Don't sell in Clubhouse. That's the worst thing to do. And people don't like that. There's a guy, I'm not going to name who, but he got we have a big group of all of us that are in all of these rooms that are up, and he's now banned because all he does is sell every time. DM me and I'll give you a free consultation. All he does is sell, and he got banned. So the important piece is just provide value. And at the end of the day, that's what we do anyway, right? So you guys all ask me, how do I make so much money off my Instagram? It's because I'm providing value. I'm giving tangible things that people can walk away with. If you hold on to all your secrets, you don't have a business. Don't be afraid to share your secrets with people because they're not going to go work with you because, they're not going to not go work with Margie because she could build a sales funnel. That's not why they hire Margie. They hire Margie for her brain. They hire her for her strategy. They hire her because she knows what she's doing, right? They're not going to hire her because she gives them, her inside secret on how she builds an email list or a sales funnel, right? They're not going to go work with Sharon because she tells them, her 9 sequence email, whatever it is, right? They're hiring her because she knows how to craft the email, right? So don't be afraid to share your insights. People are going to want to work with you because of that, right? I mean, look at Margie and Tara. You both came from Clubhouse because of that exact way, right? So that's the important piece is you want to make sure you're providing value, and the better the value is, the more people are going to want to talk to you, right? So to recap, the key relationships. So like Jody, you should be finding all the network marketing rooms, getting up there, providing value, joining the conversation. The biggest thing that people hate is when they're moderating a room and you jump up and just say, no, I don't have a question. I'm just, want to provide value. Don't do that because that pisses people off. Get up there and ask a really intelligent question, but you can also slyly kind of, say, oh, I've been in network marketing. I'm a teacher. I've been doing this for X years. And if there's somebody that knows more than you, that's okay. Ask them the question, build that relationship with them. Then you DM them after and say, hey, Freddie, so nice to talk with you, blah, 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 and start to build that relationship. And then next time you guys build a relationship and he has a room, he's going to pull you up as a moderator. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
I'm just picking on you because you're like right in front of my face.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. And actually I had that experience last week, and I hopped on with somebody who I've been following who has, tons and tons of followers. He's actually written his own course. And I think I told you that I was part of it.
Yeah.
Did I remember I told you? I was like, I think I have to nix that. Well, he was moderating, and I hopped in and I just raised my hand, and it was his first time because he was new to Clubhouse. So I got up there and we just started chatting back and forth, and then I did exactly what you said. So that worked beautifully.
Yeah, it's
Alexa, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go.
And I don't want to, sound all like woe is me or anything, but like the people that are on Clubhouse are like seriously high level, legit. Like, and they have in their bio a lot of people that I've done 6-figure this, 6-figure that. When we don't necessarily have lots of experience to back up, or I've sold this and that to, whatever, like really tangible stuff. How do you convey your value in the bio? And also, like Marky's question, about how do you present yourself in the best way?
So that's such a good question, and I'm going to pick on Margie because I love how she's turning her bio around, right? So Margie's not boasting in here like, oh, I'm this and that and this. She's talking about her target audience, who she's targeting. She's targeting Black women, female entrepreneurs that want to scale. That's who she's targeting. So she has a very specific target, and then after that, she gives them a very specific thing on how she's going to do that through lead generation and through sales funnels. Right. Okay. And then after that, she has a few quirky things about it. And I love that she, you'll catch me dancing in the mirror. Like, it's so cute. And it makes you like kind of humanized, right? In who you are. Look, there's a guy who actually I'm happy to announce is going to be joining us as a coach. He is probably one of the best growth hackers I have ever met. He's going to help us all, including me, on growth hacking. What growth hacking is how to get mass people of your right audience in front of you. So for instance, he's an expert at funneling people into Facebook groups. He's really good at it. He could build a Facebook group at about 4,000 to 5,000 a month of your exact target audience. He's excellent at it, right? So he will be joining us as a coach. I'm super excited. He's not a 7-figure earner, but yet he's getting pulled on stage in all these millionaire rooms because he provides incredible value. That's what people care about. They don't necessarily care. There are plenty of people that are getting pulled up that aren't even 6-figure earners, right? But I get where it's intimidating, where you have to shift your mindset. Is Sharon, you're incredible at what you do, and you're really knowledgeable. When I pulled you up on stage that one time, you piped up twice, and you gave such incredible value. Like, you need to have confidence in you and the value that you bring, but stay in your lane, right? You want to stay in your lane and make sure that you're providing value that, you are experienced in, right? And pick your moments and share the stage, but it's important to know that you have value to bring to the table. It doesn't matter what you bring, like what you earn, right? But I can see why that would be intimidating. So you're not wrong for feeling that way. Look, I feel intimidated. Half the people I'm on stage with are 9-figure earners. I'm not a 9-figure earner. And that's intimidating, being on a stage with like that JT guy. Like, he like takes over the room. It's intimidating. So I want you to know I feel the same way. in another way. So you're not alone in it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Sharon, find smaller rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like right now, I'm in rooms that start off with maybe 10, 15 people, and then by the time we're done, we're at like 50. But the reason I say that is because, in the rooms that Alexa are in, I don't ever get a word in edgewise, or I don't even usually like ask a question. And it's just like, I'm just there to get followers, which is like, it's pointless. In these smaller rooms, though, I'm actually engaging with people. And as a result, I'm getting real qualified leads that are coming in my DMs and scheduling appointments with me because they just talk to me for like 3 hours. You know what I mean? So just find smaller rooms. That's all.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, Ray, that's an excellent point. So the third thing I want to mention with Clubhouse, start your own rooms. All right, so it's good that we all kind of jump in the same rooms together, but if you really want to make this happen and create leads, you got to run your own rooms. Because what happens is, and I'm going to be honest, I do it too, right? I'm pulling all of you into my rooms to provide value, but I'm in the top left corner. I'm going to get the most attention, right? So the people that do this in all these rooms, if you notice, half the time the person in the top left corner doesn't even speak, right? So create your own rooms, pull people in, help each other. Like I have a following now. Whenever you create a room, invite me. I'll come in. I won't even speak. I will literally just bring my followers with me. That's what you want to do. We want to help each other. But we also have to, target our own rooms, right? So Sharon, you could create a room, how to create a 10 email sequence, whatever it is. We got to come up, Ryan can help you come up with like a better, sexier title. But like create your own rooms. You know what you're talking about. Create a Dubsado room. Do you know how many people? I've run into probably 10 Dubsado people in the last like week. One of which, I don't know if she wrote you yet, but she needs help. So I'll follow up with her. Actually, that's Sky, the person I asked you to follow up with today. That's the Dubsado lady this morning. So a ton of Dubsado people. So absolutely huge opportunity for you to even create it, and nobody's creating them. There's no Dubsado rooms, so you would be very unique. So you can just say all things Dubsado, ask your questions, like whatever it is. And what you might want to do is go find a few other experts, Dubsado experts, so that you're not alone answering questions, just in case you don't know something, right? And pull them in.
Okay.
You don't want to have too many Dubsado experts because you also don't want to get overshadowed, right? So you want to be kind of careful in how you do. Maybe find one or two and then fill it with other people that have other value to bring that's not Dubsado. Does that make sense?
That's awesome. Thank you.
Or maybe could she find somebody who she's worked with before? Could she find somebody who she's worked with, kind of like, and team up that way?
That's a great idea, Jody. Yeah.
So Sharon, you're like, you've taught this other person already, and so in that person's eyes, you are the teacher.
You are such a teacher. I love it.
That's what you did there.
No, I think that's a really great idea. And Jody, you could do the same thing for you. Like you should start a room on, how like the CBD thing is huge in Clubhouse. Everybody loves it. Like you can easily say like, how to build a side hustle selling CBD or whatever it is, right? And bring your team under you, right? To kind of spark a discussion about how to create a side hustle. Like that would blow up, right? So that's my advice, is to start getting out there. I think Ray said it best. Some of the best rooms I was in that I got really quality leads were 30 and less. Because you could spend the time actually giving answers, where when the rooms are like, I was moderating a room, I think Mike, you popped in, I was moderating a room, there was 1,200 people in it, and I had to be really strict. Like I had to say 2 minutes answers, one moderator each, I gained followers and I got like, oh, you're a great moderator, but I didn't get anybody to go, oh, you're amazing, I want to hire you, right? So in the smaller rooms, you're able to really connect. Like Tara, that's what you should be doing, creating small little rooms, and creating a theme around it and just having conversations and start to build that relationships. And you could start doing that now, Tara. There's no reason to wait for a brand. Just start building relationships now, and then your brand can layer on top of that after.
Can I ask a question about that, Alexa? So I just recently started my Instagram totally over this weekend. I mean, literally like from scratch, because I had just a lot of, I had a lot of mixed things. So after doing the 9 content box strategy, I just started completely over. Is it okay to start a room and not have a link to my, should I still have a link to my Instagram, even though
You
I'm
want
literally,
to. You need to send them somewhere, otherwise it's useless, right? So
okay.
what I would do, if I were you, I would just create 9 quick posts, just to fill your Instagram, so that you get going. And that's what I would do. I would normally not recommend that, but because you're like go go go, it would take you 2 weeks to get there otherwise. So I don't know. I mean, Sharon, what do you think? That's what I would do. But
yeah, you have to have them go somewhere, because there's no way to DM on Clubhouse. And yeah, having a 9 box filled out, yeah, just get some help. Maybe Lucas or Cam can help. I'm happy to help you in whatever way I can. Yeah, you need to have a full, complete 9 box grid. Otherwise, you're not going to be taken seriously.
I also
Okay.
have, I put a post up yesterday for a personal brand coach, somebody that would help with this. Like Lucas is good at strategy, but he's not necessarily a designer. So I'm looking for a personal brand coach, somebody that's more like on the kind of written side, but more on the design and written, combining those two things. And I got like 17 applications, some of which are some pretty big creators in our space. So I'm super excited to go through that process. And hopefully in the next week, we'll have a personal brand coach. So that will help you guys with all
See
of
who
this.
you get.
I know, and I'm excited. There's some big names in there that I was surprised. So I said, okay.
That's amazing.
All right. Any other Clubhouse questions before we move on to telling your story?
I'll have a question. I created a room last week called Fuck Average. We can have it all.
Love it.
And I got a lot of leads. I got actually to book 3 people. Did a discovery call too, and I think it's gonna go well. But when you open the room, there's the way to open either social, which is open to everybody, or open towards a membership, which is like, for example, women in business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking it was better to target it into women in business. So that's my first. And second would be a good idea, because the topic is very important. Maybe if we can get a room, put it on our Facebook group, and whoever is relating to this can jump in all together.
I think that's a great question. So there are some really great clubs, right? And the point of clubs is you're going to be targeting specific people. So if you're targeting, women or Black women or network marketers or Dubsado people, right? You might want to create your own Dubsado room if there's not a club already, Sharon. So go look to see if there's a Dubsado club, for instance, and you could be the owner of the Dubsado club, right? I don't think there was last time I checked, so you might want to get on that sooner rather than later, so you like mark your spot on that. Then yes, you would want to do that. It's going to be a smaller room, but that's okay. Like smaller is better in this case, because again, you're building those relationships. So for like Katrina, for instance, Katrina should be on Clubhouse too, building rooms about how to find time to work out. Which Katrina, you need to help me, girl. I can't find time. Find time to work out in a busy schedule, right? And she could run a room, and she'll probably get 10 leads just from running her own room, right? And the same with Maggie. Once we get you up and running, like you should be running your own rooms specific to what you offer, right? Provide that value. So absolutely agree. There's times where you want it open, and there's times where you don't. Like when I run my how to monetize your Instagram, like I keep it open because anybody could be interested in that. But if you're targeting a very specific thing, then absolutely agree.
So I have a quick question because last week I heard for the first time about the room, about the.
I think
Clubhouse.
we all did, Maggie. We all did. Just heard about it.
We talk about Instagram, so confusing. I did it. Now we talk about Clubhouse rooms, and now it's just adding more to our plate, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's just so overwhelming.
So it actually helps you. So part of what's frustrating about Instagram is it's a lot of work to build up followers, to find your clients. I mean, we're barely doing any engagement now at all on Instagram. We're doing it all on Clubhouse. And that's the nature of the beast, right? That's why being in these types of groups is good, because it kind of keeps you up to speed, right? Like I told most of you about Clubhouse, right? So, and you probably would have heard about it before, but you got in a little sooner, right? So that's the benefit of this. But to your point, Maggie, it is confusing, but actually it's easier now. It's easier to find leads now than it was 4 weeks ago, right? I see you shaking your head. Yeah, it's easier to find leads. It's like I've now completely pretty much cut off engagement. I don't do engagement at all, and I'm doubling my followers. And I'm gaining, I think yesterday I gained 279 followers or something like that in one day. Like I was getting 25 to 50 a day. It is quadrupling my follower count. So it actually is easier. And I don't, like, I'll sit with it. Like if I'm in a big room, the other thing is don't just sit in a room and don't provide value, because then they'll kick you out. But sometimes if I'm in a really big room with like 50 moderators, I'll just lower my volume, put my phone over there and work for an hour, and I'll leave it on, but I'm actually not on. But I would say really on an average base, I'm only really on at 1 hour a day, really. When I'm really like drill down with the earbuds in, I'm actually providing value. That's it. I'm not, now I do run rooms sometimes that run 6-7 hours. I'm not going to lie. But I also got like, Raylan, do you remember how many leads we got off that one room? It was like 12. It was insane. Like quality leads, right? So you got to kind of assess, would you rather be spending your time, shooting in the dark in Instagram, which works. Look, that engagement strategy works, and I haven't stopped that. I'm still doing that, right? If you have a good Instagram account and you get people, all engaging and making friends on Instagram does is make people look at who you are. And if they like who you are, they're going to explore more, right? But what Clubhouse does is kind of speed that up, and it speeds up the trust process too, because you're communicating with people verbally, where Instagram you're not. So like now when I jump on the phone with somebody from Clubhouse, I've already built somewhat of a relationship. And they've seen I not only provide value, but there's a trust factor there because I'm sitting on a panel with other people that are notable, right? So I'm not just this random stranger reaching out on Instagram. So it actually has made our lives 100 times easier, in my opinion.
I love that paradigm. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And are there any specific times to create rooms depending on the industry? Like, are there any rules, or would you say, when would be a good time to do to create rooms?
Excellent question. So the guy that's joining us as a coach, he's a growth hacker. This is exactly what he does. So now hopefully next week he'll start running master classes for you guys on how to growth hack, and these are the exact things that he's going to share with you. He's going to share with you how to get people in your room, the best times to do it, how to convert them, how you should have your bio, how to get them into a community. Like this is what he's going to help you guys with, which is different. Like Lucas is really good at like content and how to build your Instagram, but he's not a growth hacker. The reason why he grew his is because he's just a stand-up guy with excellent content, right? And he's built really good relationships. This is a little different. You want to kind of take a little bit of both Lucas and Kaylin, because together they're really going to propel you forward. All right, any other questions before we move on about Clubhouse? Hey, just try it out. Worst that happens, you get 5 people in there and you build relationships. Don't be afraid. This guy Mario, who now has probably one of the biggest rooms in Clubhouse right now that has been running every day. It starts at 10 a.m., which Kaylin, our growth hacker coach, actually is the one that helped him get to that. He started his daily calls with 30 people, and now he's sitting at about 1,700 daily. So it takes time, but the best advice that Kaylin has given me that I'll pass to you is set a daily routine, whether it's 3 times a week, once a day. Like if it's every day at 7, do it every day at 7. Be consistent so people know to come back. And so that's what I've done on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7. I've done my how to monetize your Instagram. And every single time I've done it so far, I've seen the numbers rise. It started at 15, then went to 30. Then I think last week we got to like almost 200. So it keeps getting bigger and bigger. All right, we're gonna keep moving on. So now